All right, what's going on? Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday, 11 o'clock Eastern, sort of, kind of, almost. We made it somewhat. This is not a green screen. This is 42 West 18th Street, Adorama itself. You guys know you're always welcome here in these chairs, in that chat where you're at. But I got this guy in my chair right here. I got Skeery Jones. We're going to get into who this man is, the voice of New York, who this guy is. What am I talking about? Well, first, you know what we got to do. We got to say what's up and say thank you to a few people. Number one, we're going to say thanks to GoPro. I feel like GoPro is like its own entity now. It's a verb at this point. You go, oh, just get a GoPro. It gives you the ability to capture in places you couldn't, in ways you never did before. You can mount it in infinite ways. It can handle anything you throw at it. So if you want to capture it, you want to get it, just make sure you got a GoPro in the bag and you're good to go. Check out the links down below for their full lineup. They just put out the Lit, which is a nice lighter option if you're looking for a lower cost option than the higher one, GoPro Hero 13. And they've been putting out the Hero forever. So I guarantee you some of you have like some sort of hero. And if you do, in the chat, let me know what numbered hero you have. And is it black? Is it gray? Which one do you got? I want to know. Let me know. And this is also, boom, Tenba. Tenba is supporting the show because you, Skeery, you get a free custom Tenba camera bag with a limited edition metal badge. I don't even have one of these.
This is exciting.
Yes, it's awesome.
Wow.
Tenba's great.
I haven't said one word and I'm already being gifted.
Since but you said words for 30 years. Since 1977, built right here in New York by a photographer. If you've been in this industry long enough, you probably had a Tenba bag. Check out the link down below for their full lineup. But I really do think they make some really stuff. They just put out a new roadie case. Make sure you check that one out. I'm going to be doing more on that later. Not gonna get into it now, but yeah, that's yours, buddy. Thank you so much for doing this.
I appreciate this.
And
all right, I can go now, right? I got my Tenba.
No. You owe me a podcast, homie. And last but not least, I want to say thank you to Gotham Roasters for hooking up with the coffee. They're one block up on 19th Street. If you're coming to an event, go over there, say what's up. It is owned by a photographer and a filmmaker. You are helping support the community in this industry. Cheers, kid.
Cheers.
What'd you get?
I got a coffee black, no sugar, nothing.
That's what's up.
That's right.
That's how New Yorkers do it.
Hardcore caffeine for the people who wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
I'm Greek, so it has to be iced, but that's, whatever.
That's great coffee.
Yeah, right? It's really nice and full, right? All right. Who is this guy? Well, since 1996, my man has been involved with Elvis Duran, the morning show Z100. That is almost 30 years of being the voice here in New York. Also has a podcast, I think it's called Brooklyn Boys.
The Brooklyn Boys podcast.
Brooklyn Boys podcast. And I've been hearing his voice in the back of my head since I was a kid. And now he's standing in front. This is very weird. I got to tell you, it's a little weird.
Why is that?
Well, I think I never thought I'd be sitting next to you producing with you, and you are an executive producer. You're at another level. I am not trained. There is no broadcasting degree here.
What makes you think I am?
Well, I think you've been through the school of life like every other guy in Brooklyn, right?
The school of hard knocks.
So I got to ask you, I think starting out of the gate, I got to know, you're going on almost 30 years, 1996 to 2026 we're going, right?
Well, yeah, that's the morning show itself. I've actually surpassed 30 years working at the radio station.
Okay.
I'm going into year 31. I started as almost like a glorified intern, like a paid intern, a year before we started the morning show. The morning show's turning 30 in April.
That's amazing. You do anything special for it?
Yeah, we had some brainstorming meetings. We're gonna put something together, I think, some highlights and some retrospectives.
Sounds pretty standard for
gotta
nice
celebrate, right?
You got to celebrate, but I don't want to get too serious, but I got to ask you because I'm obsessed with how fast we change and evolve. And you're talking about radio right now, right? How do you stay relevant in a world where the platform's ever changing, the technology's ever evolving? Where are you finding your audience to stay with them? How are you growing your audience? How are you staying this key for 3 decades? What is it?
It's about the content.
Okay.
I mean, if you build it, they will come. If you make them laugh, they'll follow you. If you entertain them, if you strike an emotion with them, you develop a relationship. A lot of our listeners have grown with us over the 30 years. We've had people, check in, check out different times of their lives. You're going to school. All of a sudden you go away to college and you're not listening on the bus anymore or with your parents who's driving you to school. But then maybe, you come back, you get that big boy, big girl job and now you're commuting and stuck in traffic. Oh, you're back with us again, or you have kids and COVID happened, People say that I didn't listen to you because I started working remotely. Well, not anymore. Now I'm back in the office. So we have these kind of ebbs and flows with our audience, and picking up new people along the way, quite honestly.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I checked out for a long time. And then Adorama got involved with the Jingle Ball a couple of years ago. We did like a headshot booth kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, popped on Z100, and I was kind of like, wait, this got to be a rerun. Elvis Duran's still going. I was like, oh my gosh, this is like a mainstay. This is this is unbelievable.
Well, all the credit to Elvis keeping the brand and keeping us all together as a family, because we, a lot of times people you see on these preconceived notions of TV shows and things and whatever it is, it's an arranged marriage, right?
Okay.
Where people are like, you look good together. We're going to do this, and you go. It's not like that with our show. Our show was not built that way. Our show was built with Elvis and some of us that all kind of grew up together. We all started the morning show with Elvis in '96. This incarnation of the morning show. I mean, Z100's been around before that. Yeah. So, the themes of our life are played out on the radio every day. We're basically being ourselves, and we're giving our own content and our view of the world, and we've grown as a family, and we don't get we fight like brothers and sisters. We have that we have that how do I explain it, where we kind of like take jabs at each other and fun, it's the fun playfulness, the way you would play with your friends or hang out and joke at a bar.
Yeah,
we actually genuinely like each other.
Well, it's an organic chemistry that was actually built, and when you can start taking jabs and it'll just heal anyway, that's when you're all right.
Yeah, but it's fun, and we all know each other so well by now. We're so from our side of it, we keep going because we get along and we love it. And, every day's a blank slate, right? I mean, because you don't know how it's going to unfold. We were not scripted or anything. We just come in and we talk about our lives, and we bring important ideas to the table. Sometimes we make people think, we get a little philosophical. Other times we try and help people with their issues. Other times we're laughing and joking. We're playing phone pranks. Danielle's giving a Hollywood gossip and talking about what's going on in pop culture. So, we play games. We just have fun with the audience, and it's an escape on their way to work or wherever they have to go, because let's face it, no one likes waking up at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning.
Well, I got to ask you that, like, is it exhausting having to stay on the edge of what's trending, what's going on right now? It's got to be. You have to pay attention to so many platforms to absorb it all, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the thing. We're not just radio anymore, right? So we went from radio. Obviously, we tape every part of our show visually, and then we cut it up into clips and we throw it up on Instagram or TikTok. So you have people in the back on a video switcher, literally, for your photography people out there. We got cameras posted on the walls, and they're literally going live, taking each shot, like as the show is going live on the radio. We're ready to put something up online and make it into a clip right away, just because it's that quick. It's that. So how do we stay focused on that? We live the life of our listener. I mean, I do. As far as music trends are concerned,
you're actually into it.
Yeah, I mean, I might dress like I'm from the '90s. I don't know.
Oh, please tell me. Tell me more. Tell me more.
But we also, there's so many of us. We're this like ensemble, right? This group of people.
Right.
Elvis. I don't really watch much TV. I got to be honest. I'm not in. You're going to be like, what? Who is this guy? Get out of my podcast. But I don't care about Stranger Things. I'm not looking forward to New Year's Eve. I don't care about I never got into it. So, but 3 other people on the show did. So it's like everyone has a base covered.
Okay.
Everyone's following a different part of the pop culture. So we can all meet together in the middle. So that's how we've stayed relevant, is we're a large gang of people. And, we kind of educate each other along the way. So whereas I don't watch much TV, Danielle does, and Gandhi, one of the other co-hosts, is right on point with everything that's out.
That's good. There's actually a question in the chat from Kevin. He's curious to know what has been some of your favorite guests you've had on the show.
Wow. I mean, wow, that's a hard one. I mean, we've had every.
You must have been asked that
we
a
do a
million
lot
times.
of. Okay, well, we have now. We've been on so long. We have guests that like musicians that have grown up listening to the show that are now releasing music. And like, I don't know if you heard of Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga, she
built it right here in New York, man. Are you kidding me?
Yep. She tells the story. The first time she was on our show, we freaked her out because she heard Danielle from our morning show. She has this distinct laugh. So she heard Danielle laugh, and she stopped. She's like, oh my God. And she looked away, and we're like, what's going on? What are you talking about? What's the matter? She goes, the laugh. You don't understand. This is my childhood right here. I'm sitting in front of my childhood. She used to listen to the show.
Yeah.
And in high school, she used to leave. Her mom used to flip the cassette tape. We used to have cassette tapes, right, to tape the show. And she used to listen to the rest of the show that she missed after school. That's how much of a diehard she was. You know, artists like Charlie Puth and Halsey and all these people. There are a lot of local. Anyone who grew up in the New York tri-state area or Miami grew up on the show listening. So,
good place
so
to have
these are all the best guests because they're the ones who come in. Timothy Chalamet shocked us. You know, we were interviewing him for his Bob Dylan movie, and we had no idea that he listened or grew up listening. And he goes, I got to say, man, you guys, I'm a big fan. I grew up listening in high school. And I'm like, Timothy Chalamet's telling us this on an interview? And like it's pretty wild. So the best guests are the people like that who are local and who we can have fun with, that, you know, they're like part of the wallpaper, you know? I mean, even like people like Bobby Flay, chefs like him,
Nice.
He's like, we joke around with him and he comes in all the time. But yeah, we've had great guests like you name it. I don't have any bad guests because everyone has their game face on, you know, when they're in the studio with us.
They're media trained, right? They're doing that whole thing.
Yeah, some
right?
people come in, they promote what they're promoting, and they're very basic and generic, but a lot of them they have this like love affair with us, which is wild.
And do you think that it's like, do you get more amped up over an established artist coming to say what's up to you, or having someone who's been established through your own media coming to say what's up to you? Do you like when you have someone that's grown up through you, that you were there before, they were huge, now they come back and visit you again and they're big, or someone that you haven't seen before that's been established forever comes and see you? What's more of a dopamine hit for you?
The dopamine hits are the people like the Taylor Swifts and the Sabrina Carpenters and Tate McRae. I don't know if I'm talking a foreign language to you with some of these artists, but these are people that were like Sabrina Carpenter grew up coming to the radio station and coming on our show 7, 8, 9 times, and then she broke, and now she's massive. And so when you see her, I don't. I'm just gonna say it. I'm out at a Saturday Night Live after party, and we were hanging out, me and my friends, and she was the host that night. She walked into the party, and I didn't want to bother her, but she came up to me and said hello and gave me a hug and a kiss because she's the one who, she grew up with us. You know what I'm saying? Tate McRae is the same way. She kind of, and Taylor, I mean, even though we haven't seen her in a minute, she's been busy for the last few years. But, she used to come up to the station all the time, bring her guitar when she was doing the country pop crossover, and in the early to mid 2000s, she would just come up and hang out, and she's still just as cool. When she released her new album Life of a Showgirl, she did very few interviews. She did like 4 or 5 interviews. One of the interviews that she wanted to do was Elvis. She says, I don't care where I am in the world. She was on the set of the Graham Norton show, and she goes, I got to call Elvis. Because she didn't forget about it, us, So those are the people we embrace, and those are the ones that gives me the biggest dopamine effect. To answer the long-winded answer to your question, is the excitement of the ones that we watched from the very beginning. Whether they were listened to our show or not. The ones who were local, like a Halsey or a Charlie Puth. It's that extra, and Lady Gaga. Those are the extra special, excitement because. We had them since they were kids,
But don't you think that's really the key to longevity you have, that you treated people correct, and then you got the relationship built, and then that's what makes you so powerful?
Our show has always been a place for the artists and the celebrities to call home.
Yeah.
Safe space is exactly the word I was going to say. We don't ask the gotcha question. We're not looking for, well, let's see if we can get this on TMZ.
No clickbait for you?
Elvis does not give I don't know if I can curse here, but
I'll allow it just once.
Elvis doesn't give a crap about trying to. He just wants everyone to feel like family, like he always says, and comfortable. And guess what? I don't think there's ever been an artist or a celebrity that have come back on our show that that didn't say that, that said, I wanted to make sure I made a stop here in New York to see you guys. When I'm here in New York, I have to come see you guys. You guys always treat me well.
Right.
And even if there's bad press about somebody out, we're not gonna go there. They're being asked by every other outlet. What the hell do they have to hear from us?
Right. And your audience might not even want to tune out that kind of noise and just have
focus on what they're there for, you know.
But that's kind of one of the things I wanted to ask you was like a part of your whole feel of your vibe when you're a public figure, you specifically, is being like authentic. Like we're both New York guys, we say what's up, but where do you find the line? Because I struggle with this, definitely.
Yeah.
Where do you find the line between the professionalism and authenticity? Because there's times where you're just like, I got to hold it. You know, don't say the thing.
Well, for me, authenticity is the professionalism. Because, meaning I'm on this big show, right, that we have. And
it's a legacy.
My mind works in a certain way. I'm from Brooklyn.
Yep.
I have a certain feeling. I'm not going to curb my thoughts or my opinions on things. So I don't mind just saying, you know, I might word things differently. Sometimes I get in trouble how I word it, you know, but Elvis will be like, let me re-articulate that. What Skeery's trying to say is, no, because sometimes I come across very different. I come across like an alien to people, you know, that live in other parts of the country. They're like, where did you find this guy? But it's something that we hear in, I'll broaden it to the Northeast, you know, New York, Philly.
We don't got time for games. We just say it. We just get to it.
Yeah, we're not West Coast people. We're not like air kiss, my people, your people, let's meet for lunch.
Plastic smiles don't fly here.
No, you know where you sit with me within 5 seconds of meeting me. You know, and I feel like I can read you, you can read me, because, you know, I can already tell I gel with you because, you know what's up. And I, you know, you're talking to me like the way that, you know, my friends would talk to me. And
I'm the punk version of you. You've been trained and do like big things. I'm a YouTube scrub. I'm like right about here.
No, stop that. No, but you're great.
Thanks,
I could tell. I could tell
5 seconds ago, just so you know.
Yeah, no, but I can tell your demeanor. I can tell you're no BS. You know, you're being honest. You're not trying to sugarcoat anything.
If you really do something, like there's no reason to have to compensate for. Like this is what you do, right? Like you come at it correct. You do it on the fly because you can handle that. And I think that's where people grip into you.
Right.
Is that there is nothing you're trying to protect or trying to fake or trying to, I in a bad way, con them into believing. You know, it's like, no, this is what you're getting. Take it or leave it. And luckily, especially on this channel, we thank you guys for sticking with us. And by the way, we're live. You totally welcome to ask questions. You guys know that. Brad, what's going on? CSC, how you doing? I wanted to ask you, we're in a really interesting era, I feel. Like I just said, I never went to broadcasting school, but somehow I had to learn how to do all of this stuff to be in this era. People are broadcasting more than ever before, and I feel like there's micro audiences. How do you maintain a massive audience when their bandwidth of people is going to 15 micro audiences? You know what I mean? Like they're watching 13 podcasts a day. You know?
Yeah. So I guess your question is, how do we maintain what we're like? How do you
guys maintain the size of an audience when the audience is divided so much now?
You're right. It's so splintered. We talk about this often. There's so much static and noise because there's so much noise going on.
Yes.
You know, everyone's a broadcaster. I could turn on my phone right now and do a broadcast within the broadcast. I mean, you know, and go live. I think because our initial and our main purpose is focused. We're hyper focused on broadcasting to an audience, which is not something that you see anymore. You know, a live 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. in real time radio show, Monday to Friday, it doesn't exist very much. We have real time conversations with real time reactions and feedback from the audience. So you don't get that from a pod. There's so many people recording things now, and then, you know, and putting it out there later. I mean, we're live here. We're streaming right now.
Yeah, but are you basically saying you create a sense of urgency to be there while you're...
Yes. Okay. And but with the morning commuter, you know, we broadcast, so we're on Z100 in New York City, but we're also broadcasting live on 70 FM radio stations around the country in other cities. So we're on Q102.1 in Philly. We're on 100.7 Miami. Times that by 65 radio stations around the country. Cleveland, I don't know where some of these people are, but you know, we're not outside the U.S. yet. We're getting there slowly. But my point is, we're live in these time zones, or to these people listening in their cars. on their way to work. So we have to focus on the immediacy, the quickness, the make your point, move on. The style of what we do in the morning is very different than what we're doing right here on this podcast. Even though we're live, people are choosing to be here because they know about your podcast every week. They want to see interesting guests, and maybe they have the time to sit at their computer on their phone. So yeah, so those people, so it's very different, is what I'm saying. Like, whereas we're all right, hit your mark, play a song, hit your mark, say this, phone interaction, go to commercial. Beats, and then we'll put it up for, you can check us out on the on-demand channel on Elvis Duran On Demand. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeart Radio, of course. We do put the show up after the show is over in podcast form.
Right.
And we break it down by segment. Let's say you like to listen to the phone taps. Well, the phone, which is a phone prank that we do every morning, or you like to hear your horoscope. We have little segments for each thing. And so we customize to those micro audiences after 10 a.m. But from 6 to 10 a.m., we're sitting there in real time. We're listening to the song in real time for the 10,000th time. We're playing those commercials in real time. You don't really see much of that other than, like, I guess, the news on TV.
Maybe. Yeah, I get it.
It's because podcasts are always prepackaged and sent out at a later. The podcast is dropping at midnight. Whatever it is, a song, an album. You're not live. You're not live. We're live now, but on a for the micro audience, as you say. But in the morning, it's a broadcast, and for several. So what we do is unique. So that's why we're not going out of business, because radio is free. Radio is free in cars.
Yeah, but I also think there's something to the fact that, like, your format, I could throw on in the background of my life, but a podcast, like, you need actual attention span to catch it. Although, how many times people just put on the background, play an entire podcast, absorbed zero of it because they were editing while they were doing it or something like that?
We have the same issue with morning radio. You got so many distractions. Maybe you're in a carpool. Maybe people are talking over you, and they might catch like 4 words.
Yeah.
The radio's on in the background. There's distractions.
I think you keep people company in the world. That's what I think, dude. What do you feel was the biggest impact over the years? Was it in the evolution of the platform? Meaning, like, when satellite radio came out, then we had streaming, then we're on like social platforms where it's all of a sudden now you're visual, you weren't just audio. What do you feel had the most impact along the years?
The incorporation of our station and our show into the smart speaker.
Okay.
For several years, back in the day, you want to really take it back when it was just all about TV, radio, and like magazines and movies. That was your only media in the time before computers. But if you think about it, we had a more captive audience. It was very, you're in the car, you're listening to the radio. You're at home, you're watching TV.
And they called you guys. That was the crazier part.
Yeah, we still get people on the phone. Yeah. People text us all the time, and then we'll call them back and then get them on the air that way. But and again, we had this situation where people were how do I explain it? I lost my thought. By the way. All right. No, we were talking about okay, I forget. Repeat your question. See, we're live right now. Now, if this was the radio, Elvis would make fun of me right now and be like, Skeery, what the hell are you talking about?
I just feel like there's been so many things that tried to kill the radio itself.
Oh, right. Yeah, exactly. So, right. So people thought satellite was going to catch. You see,
everyone thought satellite was it. It was in every car. You came in the car.
But then we actually joined satellite radio. Our Z100 was channel 12 for the longest time, or channel 10 or whatever, for a long time, for years. And that ended a couple of years ago. So we were part of this. We made ourselves part of that ecosystem. But then what other things came along? Then, well, I'll tell you what. The biggest competitor for radio, if you're asking that, would have been the aux cord. The second, the aux cable, or the USB-A.
You could get it from your phone into your
car. Yeah. That was, to me, a moment of like, we better up our game, because now people could just, whatever's on their playlist, they could just plug it in. And now with AirPlay, CarPlay for Apple and other, you could Bluetooth just takes over. You start your car, and in most modern cars, your phone just takes over the entire thing.
I remember having Napster all night. You loaded up your jank iPod, you hotwired it into the stereo somehow, and that was what you were doing.
Yeah, it was a process then to get to listen to something other than radio. So radio's biggest competitor at this point was but we then said, well, let's be everywhere that our listeners are. So if they are using their aux cords or Bluetooth, let's get on your phone. So we have the iHeart Radio app.
Right.
It's totally free. It's got live radio on the app for all. You can now listen to any radio station in the country on it, or you could choose a podcast like the Brooklyn Boys podcast. Plug. Or are you guys on iHeart Radio? You're not. You don't.
Well, we have a Spotify playlist at one time.
Well, you guys should. Well, it's free. You guys will carry. I'm sure iHeart will carry you. We're agnostic, as they say. So you could basically, now. So we're basically in people's phones, and now your phone. You plug your phone in your car, whatever the case. Well, we could still be on you would still exist on your phone. That and the smart speaker at home, because before, again, in the time before radio, in the time before computers and stuff. People had home stereos, right? Then they would have radio on in their homes. Well, that went away, and now with smart speaker, you could just tell Alexa or one of your smart speakers to play Z100. Just say, "Hey Alexa, play Z100."
I think that's the thing you had to chase was on demand.
And now Z100 will just show up on. It'll just start playing out of the speaker. So that was a game changer for us in a good way. That's how technology helped us. But I don't know. I don't know who's in their house or at their desk.
Right.
And, calling Alexa to play us, but they could. I mean, they call out the Brooklyn Boys. They're like, play the Brooklyn Boys podcast. Boom. Next thing you know, we're, they have us on their smart speaker.
Do you guys ever stream onto YouTube just straight up?
Live streaming on YouTube? No.
Okay. We
could explore that. I mean, we go live on TikTok and live on Instagram if we have an important guest.
Yeah.
Or a big guest. We had a guy named Lucien. He plays Alfie on Emily in Paris.
Okay.
He was in this morning live. He came into the studio and we were hanging out with him. So, we would these are the moments where we go IG live. And we would say at the beginning of the interview, hey, we're live right now on Instagram. We're live on TikTok. That's where we live. Instagram, TikTok. YouTube, not so much. I mean, we put our show up in its entirety. You could see a video version of our daily morning show on YouTube. We have an Elvis Duran Show channel. Just look up Elvis Duran Show.
The reason I even bring that up is because I feel like YouTube is the quickest thing that shows up when you do a quick search. So if I was looking up Timothy Chalamet,
right,
it would you would pop up because you have so much numbers and such a surge of audience.
Yeah.
And it's really amazing to me sometimes where I'm like, this massive corporation has a show that they just put out on YouTube for free. There's got to be a catch here. They figure it out. There has been I am not ignoring you guys. There's been a question in the chat for a while. This guy talks like a South Brooklyn guy.
I'm so sorry.
This is a Bensonhurst guy. This is what you deal with. Trust me. Rock fan is asking, I'm in the Philly market with WMMR and Beasley Media slowly destroying our legacy. How has Z100 and Elvis Duran fighting off these massive companies and their destruction? Wow, that's so doom and gloom.
Well, we're on the rock fan, of course. So we are on. Is that Rover's Morning Glory? No, that's Cleveland, I think. WMMR is these two gentlemen. I forgot their names, but they're very talented guys. They've been on forever. But we are on in the Philly market on Q102.1 live in the morning. Our morning show technically goes up against WMMR, but we're not fighting for an audience at this point. First of all, he targets a different audience. Steve and someone or other, Preston and Steve, they target a different audience than we do. So he's saying that it's destroying our legacy morning show. So and they are. Preston and Steve are a legacy morning show. They're one of I think they're number one in Philly for years. It's hard to explain. So I don't know how Beasley is destroying. I need more information about. Give me an example or two of how Beasley is destroying Preston and Steve's show.
Some drama words for sure in there.
That's okay. No, I want to know. Give me some examples.
I do appreciate Kristen Frank right above that. She's like, I grew up listening to Morning Zoo every day while getting ready for school. I thought it was the funniest stuff I've ever heard. Still remember the lyrics to the Good Morning song.
That's right. That's old school. That was before my time. The Good Morning song. So I grew up listening to this radio station and this show. I mean, Z100 came around in 1983, and for 12 years, I dreamt of working there, and I fulfilled my that wish in 1995 when I got the job there.
How did it match up to the dream? It became a job and not a dream anymore. So what did that feel like?
It's still a dream.
Oh, please.
No.
Please.
It's, every once in a while,
it's still a job, man.
Every once in a while, you gotta just take a step back and be like, my God, I am working for the most listened to morning show in America.
Fair.
We're on, and our reach is pretty big. And I'm excited just as I was on day one. Every day brings a new adventure, really. But I mean, occasionally I'll get goosebumps. But back then I was really scared. Now I'm just more comfortable in my own skin. I mean, another example is we have I guess Pentatonics. You know Pentatonics, right? They do the harmonies and a lot of acapella stuff, and they do a lot of Christmas holiday music.
Well, it's the time of year.
We had them up here to the radio show this morning. We're taping an interview with them. And it was one of those, my God, I can't believe I'm doing this moments. They were in the hallway, sitting in 5 chairs with 5 microphones, and they sang "Holly Jolly Christmas," one of their songs, and it was like butter. It was so like they were in a studio, and they were picture perfect. And I'm watching them, and I'm listening to the sound that's coming out that I'm recording, and it's mind-boggling. Like how beautiful it was. And it was one of those moments, those self-reflection moments, like who else gets to do this? I'm so lucky. So you have to have those every once in a while, those humbling moments, because otherwise you just, you get a big head and, whatever. I don't take one day or 1 minute for granted.
3 decades of this. You got a Rolodex of those, I'm sure.
There's a lot of moments like that, yeah.
Rockfan has a follow-up. He's saying they are basically chipping away and getting rid of the cast members. And also, midday shows are going away, changing a lot.
Yeah.
They fought with Pierre Robert up until his passing recently.
Oof.
So what is this drama? Explain.
So, I mean, it's what's going on across the industry, across of broadcast, across of all of media. It's budget cuts. We've suffered several rounds of that over the years. We've had to consolidate and find new ways to work with less and do more. But that's just the nature of the beast at this point. And I'm sorry that that's happening at that radio station. But there's no way to really fight it. Unfortunately, I mean,
things change.
It's changing, and there's more competition, as you just said in the middle of this podcast. There's so many options. There's so many things. The micro broadcasters. Right. There's a lot going on.
But I think people find their connection where they find it. What I worry about is the day where we have a generation that never felt a connection and then doesn't care about a connection. Well, meaning they're raised on an AI host that don't care.
Yeah.
Like, do you feel that's a real fear? Do you think that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I feel it with a little bit. Personally, a little bit with Gen Z, some, kids coming out of, high school that didn't have the radio experience.
Yeah.
A lot of parents are great. They actually train, when they're in the car, they train them to listen. It's kind of cool. They are listening. They're out there. Yeah. But if I meet somebody or a Gen Alpha, like my nephew, I want to get him involved with listening to radio and consuming our content any way he can. Earlier in life, because then it becomes more of a habit. So it's hard to fight that, and I don't know what the answer to that question is. But I'm also worried about the future in AI. By the way, we have this new thing at iHeart, where we talk about we're guaranteed human.
Yeah.
You could look him up. One of the presidents of our company, Tom Pullman, who's been around forever at iHeart and is our great protector. There's an article, there was an interview done with him, and it basically reassures and promises that all the content that you see and hear from iHeart is guaranteed human. We don't believe in the AI thing. Now, in the background for our workspaces, sure, AI can help us out with a little bit. Yeah, organizational things. AI is not all bad.
Yeah.
AI's got some great points to it. Could really enhance a show, but it cannot replace human connection.
Yeah.
And nor will we ever play music that's AI driven or AI. We're not. That's not us. We're not going to have AI hosts on our shows, on our stations. That is awful. I mean, and kids are getting it from other places. I feel bad. Somebody needs to set them right.
But 30 years of you guys on the air gives enough AI training for them to replicate. I think about that all the time, but I think it's just a matter of, I think we're going to have moments of AI popping up and getting dominant, and then people just get tired of it. Right now, in our world, on the photo nerd side of things, we're watching kids scraping to find analog cameras, old digital cameras, things that were, and I guarantee at some point they'll be like, what is this AI host? There was
taking
humans.
It back to the old school. I'm an old fool who's so cool. Who sang that?
I think I just
Whoop, there it is.
What just happened here?
1995. But that's right. Everything old is new again.
Yeah, but don't you think that humans will always just want to find human again at some point?
I think so. Another great example. Pentatonics released a special edition of their album at Target on vinyl. It's a little vinyl record, an actual vinyl. It's a song on each side, and it's called tiny vinyl. And you can put it on the platter of a real turntable and put it on, and it'll play, an analog product. And they're selling it at Target. And I'm like, that is amazing. We need more of that. We need to go back to it. I was here at Adorama the other day doing an event with Z100.
The Jingle Ball Rush, right?
The Jingle Ball tickets. We were doing a ticket right here. And you guys can't really see it, but in the back, all the way on the right, there are these beautiful shelves of amazing legacy equipment.
The used department, kids. You photo nerds know what's up.
There's cameras. The one that I was taught on in high school, the legendary Canon Pentax. What was the name of the Canon camera?
AE1.
It was a black leatherish thing, but it was white. It was silver up top.
That's like every camera ever in that era.
It was an 80. I think it was like.
There was an AE1?
Probably. It was the camera that sold the most and was widely used and was affordable.
And they're sitting there, right?
And I'm like, there it is. That's the camera I learned how to take real, pictures on in photography when I was in the room, in the dark room, and I went through the developer and the stop bath and am I talking a foreign language? Oh, no, these are photo people.
No,
so
these are people.
These are your people.
No, not Rebel. Rebel's too new. Come on, CS. Come on.
But we're going old school. My brother-in-law is in the. I should have him up here with you. He's a professional photographer. He does still life photo.
Nice.
And is in.
Those guys are crazy.
Works for. Yeah, he photographs food. For big companies and things, and professionally, and he for years had he had a dark room in the basement. He turned it, and I'm like, I walked in there, and I'm like, oh, I smell the chemicals. I could smell.
Yeah.
And I was with him, and we were developing large format. At the time, he was doing a black and white shoot for something, and then I did a couple of color, and we did some color stuff, and it was cool. And I helped, and I'm like, I remember this from high school, and he was taking me back, and he goes, a lot of the companies now, they're all digital. They don't want, this is too expensive now to do. And you can get a lot better results, believe it or not. Am I saying this with digital product? And the cameras are so good now that they've now surpassed these analog.
But there's a feel to analog, and every now and then if you pitch it right and they understand why it's special and how it'll stand out in a digital world, they'll book you for that.
Until the digital people invent a filter for it.
But well, it's funny you say the smell of the chemicals. I was dating this girl when I was younger, and I was always in the darkroom, and I remember her mom was yelling, an Italian woman, just screaming, going, "And that guy of yours always smells like vinegar." And I was like, yeah, I was like, yeah, I kind of do.
But so there is, and I want to see that. I don't want to see that die. The same way I don't want to see vinyl turntables die, and I don't want to. We need this in our life. I mean, I have this old school reel to reel at home. I don't know if you know what that is.
Yeah, of course.
The reel to reel audio, and I tried to get one of our interns to load it up and say, "Here, how do you rack this? You put it." They didn't know the first thing about it. And I know what I expect them to. They weren't taught that. I was taught that back in high school and college. How do you thread a a film camera,
Yeah.
or the movie projectors, old school. I found one of those. My Aunt Millie's 8mm or a Super 8. She had an 8mm and then a Super 8. I had 2 cameras. And I'm like, oh my God, what can I do with this?
No.
I don't know.
So they're bringing up the $3 bins. I don't know if you know this. We paused it for now for the holidays because they need floor space. But all the stuff in the used department that's like weird odds and ends that have things about them that they can't really sell, it's $3, whatever you can find. So we got all these like college kids finding all these like old film pieces and learning the way gear was and stuff, just to keep things out of landfills and make people Frankenstein their cameras together and do cool stuff. So we're on that vibe. Yeah. I think that they should put out old school style radios that the antenna is Wi-Fi and it goes to iHeart Radio and things like that.
Yeah.
Why doesn't someone do that kind of stuff?
Well, they've done the MP3 where you could convert or play. I'm sorry, you could play a turntable on Bluetooth.
Right. Yeah.
So I have a Bluetooth turntable at home. It's cool. So I have a Sonos system working.
Sonos are beautiful.
Yeah, and I play I put a record on I have like an original Beatles records too.
That's cool. Wow.
I'm a Beastie Boys guy from way back, so I put on like Paul's Boutique.
Beastie Boys knows what's up.
Yeah, Paul's Boutique, my favorite Beastie Boy album of all time, and you hear the crackles of the record, and it's coming through my Sonos, and it's kind of wild. I'm like, this is all wireless. This is amazing. So that's pretty cool stuff right there. And I do have I have one that actually turns, cassettes and CDs and vinyl to MP3s.
Dope.
I have a converter. Yeah. So it's got to be both directions. There has to be this legacy equipment to be able to use that stuff in a modern world because that'll keep it alive.
I think it's also a fashion thing, right? Like there's kids that come in here with cassette players, like Sony Walkmans from like
Get out.
Yeah, all the time. And one of the coolest things I ever had was I had this cassette tape that you could actually load with MP3s and then it would play in a cassette player.
That's dope.
It was the sickest thing ever, and it got lost when I moved to an apartment once.
Yeah.
I'll never find it again. But I think people do gravitate to that sort of thing. So that's why I think no matter what changes,
it'll never die.
Yeah, but you got to find that chord, don't you think? You got to find that touching point of it. You know what I mean?
Instagram served me an ad the other day.
Oh boy.
About old school movie projector.
Because you were talking about it. That's why.
Of course.
Listening
to
you.
Of course, yeah. But it's actually...
Oh no, an old camera that does it digital.
Looks like it's a digital, right? It's an old looking camera, and an
old Kodak style.
Yeah, so like old school Kodak, like a film suit camera, but it's actually digital. I kind of want one.
It's awesome. I saw, there's a bunch of kids had them at Comic-Con this year, and I was like, "There's no way you all found the same camera that's that mint condition." Like, let me see this thing. I was like, "Oh, it's digital."
That gives me hope for the future that these kids are craving the old.
Oh yeah. You know what gives me hope? There's a booth. I'm not making this up. There's a booth at New York Comic-Con that all they do is have books so kids can smell them. Because there's so many kids that are reading comics digitally, they don't get the smell of it.
It's creepy.
Yeah, but it's
Come
like
to the book smelling booth.
But they're trying to give them that. They're trying to tie that nostalgia because, well, parents hand their kids a phone and it's cold. There's no tangible. There's no, visceral, whole thing.
What do we got? We got a lot of. Oh wow! Some people are commenting.
Oh yeah, we have a good community.
I love how I conflated the Canon AE1 with the Pentax. It was a Canon AE1.
Pentax was a K1000 was the big Pentax. They had Nikon F, Nikon FM, all that kind of stuff. There's always, in the end, what was crazy about that period was a camera only came out once every 5 or 10 years because not much changed. It just had to load film and meter correctly. Now a camera comes out if you guys don't get a new update to your camera this year, you freak out. It's amazing.
And I am nerding out about audio equipment. Yeah. I love it. I wish I knew more about. The photo. I only know very limited with photo because of my brother-in-law and of course my. I took high school film photography, so I was able to learn the basics.
We got plenty of audio stuff here. You guys know that. So where do you think things are going? We've already talked about like how you defended against what has happened. Where do you see it going from here? Honestly,
I mean, you said it. We're going more and more toward AI in a world where we're going to have to spend time trying to find if these things that we're seeing and hearing are real or AI. Like, we're going to get so in the weeds with this stuff. Something's got to come along that is going to be an identifier to let us know, okay, that's a spoof, that's AI, that's not real. But it's gotten so good. You guys are on. You have the Sora app, Sora 2.
God, I hate all of it.
That stuff is so lifelike.
It's so boring and sloppy and just junk. It's just junk. I don't care about it after I saw it. There is no connect.
Yeah, but people are they're putting themselves in videos. And I mean, I joined, but I haven't really done anything with it. I'm frightened by it, and now you can allow other people to like make videos of you. You could just, if you click the box that says, I allow all the users on here to use my likeness, people could put like really bad stuff out there.
It's horrible.
I don't know. I see it going more toward that. I don't know.
Well, what do you think about these AI bans? I think they're creepy. I hate it. I like, what gives me hope, what makes me feel like we might be okay? When NPR does Tiny Desk. I'm like, you could not AI this. Yeah. That is a known person in a jank situation doing something fun.
So funny you say this. So you check out the Brooklyn Boys podcast, by the way, if you can. Basically, we do a weekly show. It's two guys from Brooklyn and our take on the world.
Two guys from Brooklyn. Who'd have thought?
It's not a podcast about Brooklyn, although sometimes we talk about Brooklyn things, but it's our view of the world, and it based on two just schlubs. And the other guy is David Brody. He's my co-host.
Nice.
And we basically just hang out and we talk about all the. So we have these jingles and these bumpers that, what a bumper is. A bumper is when like we'll go take a commercial break. It's like a sounder or something, maybe like a jingle, a quick something. So we had a few years ago a bunch of professionally done studio bumpers, jingles for our podcast to make it sound a little cool and cute, whatever. Now, Brody said, hey, why pay for this stuff when we have AI? He says, next week, he goes, I'm going to get a whole new set of bumpers and jingles for our podcast, and we're going to audition them live on the podcast. Well, that didn't go so well.
Oh, tell me.
The AI singers, he got these AI singers to do this really, I don't want to say it, crappy, I want to say the S word, right? Just versions of these jingles. And I'm like, and Brody's like, that's amazing, right? That's awesome. And I'm like, bro, that sucks. I'm like, no, we're not putting these on every week. We did it as a nice little bit, as a segment to see if we could have AI replace the jingle singers in real studios with real instruments. The answer there is no. He was pushing for it.
But what did he hear that was so great? Why did he think it sounded great?
Because he wrote the jingles. He wrote the sing-alongs, the snaps, the rhymes. So the next week, we do a talkback podcast where all we do is we do a companion podcast. It's called Slice Time because our listeners are called the Slices because they're like a slice of pizza, like a slice. Hey, I'm a slice. That's our fandom. The Slices rebelled. They jumped back on all our talkbacks and on the talkback show, which is basically a critique by the listeners of our main podcast, they flooded the talkbacks with basically saying, get these AI singers off the air. They have no place in your podcast. They're awesome. Shit. I don't know what, I said it. I don't know what Brody's thinking about, why he wants it. So yeah, AI, we're not there yet. I hope we never get there.
But. Yeah, but also isn't kind of contradictive, like you're trying to be a host on air and then you bring in AI thing with so then why don't we just get you an AI host to ask him that? Why don't we just AI him? You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Come on. Like I just think it's so, I feel like everyone
insulting.
Don't you feel it's basically a spectacle right now? Like people just want to try it, see it, and then we're going to get past it.
Okay. That's what I'm hoping happens. I'm hoping this is just another fad. Everyone's trying AI, everything. Let it play out. And then it'll go back to real. But remember, iHeart, we're guaranteed human. That's what we say. We're guaranteed human.
I think that's going to be an ongoing thing when people want authenticity.
That's why it's our company motto now.
We all thought we were going to be in VR by now. We all thought we were going to be walking around with headsets on. Apple tried it. Where'd that go?
Yeah.
It's just really interesting where they don't put into effect the human aspect of it, having to buy into it. If you don't support it, they don't make money. It doesn't go forward. Yeah. I keep trying to tell people that, like, if you're really scared of AI, don't support it. That's it. And we're here for creatives. You guys know that. It's funny that you say about the slices. We actually have a pizza box that I made it into a reflector. That's like I'll show you this.
Let me see this.
So I use a real pizza box as a reflector when we do demos. So we made the Adorama pizza box. And so you get the white side, which will reflect some light. See my face? See my face?
Yeah.
And you get the silver.
Oh, I love it.
You know, so this is the Brooklyn Reflector.
I love this.
And it's been it's a community thing, you know. We tie it together. I think that's the key, is building a community, you know.
Yeah.
But we're all about the pizza here, believe me. Where should they check out the podcast, the Brooklyn Boys podcast?
Yeah.
And what about iHeartRadio? Is that they just get the app and go for it?
Yeah, well, you don't even need the app. I mean, we prefer you listen on iHeartRadio, because if you want to leave us a talkback, the only way to do that is clicking the microphone and listening through the iHeartRadio app. But we're also on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify, even Pandora and Yahoo.
Pandora's still around?
Yeah, Amazon. We're on Amazon. Yeah, I guess so.
What?
Amazon and Deezer. We're on Deezer.
Okay.
Everywhere you get your podcasts, you could find us. And we are the Brooklyn Boys Podcast with Skeery and Brody. I'm all over social on Instagram at Skeery Jones, Skeery Jones.
Right here.
Oh, it's right there. Oh, they put up my logo.
Yeah.
At Skeery Jones. And our morning show is at Elvis Duran Show. That's the show. And then at Z100 New York is our local Z100 affiliate, which is where we do our broadcasting from every morning.
I'm just going to close this out with, when I was a kid, when I heard Skeery Jones, I always pictured you as like Papa Shango, like a voodoo guy, because it always just sounded like that was what the name sounds like. It's going to be like a Halloween character. I got to tell you, it almost sounds like a kid's Pixar movie about like a voodoo doctor or something. I don't know. This is the whole scary, but that's really from like your name, right? The scary part.
Yeah, well, yeah, Skeery. My last name is Skeery, so it's like my last name is my first name. I don't know. Jones is completely fabricated. See, that's fake. Now I got to get rid of that.
He was fake before it was cool, kids. Listen, go follow him. Go check out Z100. Check out iHeartRadio. Check out Brooklyn Boys, and follow the Jingle Ball. It's about to pop off. And
Elvis Duran Show.
No, cheers, kid. Nice job, kid.
Cheers. Thank you.
Guys, hit subscribe. There are 75 other episodes, 75 other guests. Don't forget about the Adorama Events channel. I'll be shooting live myself on Tuesday. You can follow that over. Nope, not that one. This one. Okay, this QR code is the event channel. That's the event schedule. This is my guy, Skeery. I'll keep popping things on the screen till you have no screen left. Thank you so much for joining me here. I really appreciate you. It was really nice meeting you, man.
You too, Seth.
I hope you guys have the great rest of your week, and we will see you live on this channel tomorrow. Daniel Norton's live. I'll see you there, guys, 5 p.m. Eastern. Be good to each other. Later, kids. Peace.